Ladies and gentlemen, episode 32 of the B Graders Sweet Remedy, sunny skies, beautiful coffee, which I've drunk already. Here with Matt Poyner, the biggest man in WA cycling, runner of the GB Supercrit later in the year.
Yep.
And, well, there's only one thing to talk about, Matt.
Yes, the Slovakian Club Championships held in Bergen at the weekend.
It was very, very impressive ride from a man you didn't see till he threw across the line through his hands.
You couldn't see him. I was looking in the bunch, watching the telecast, and I got a good TV so I could see everything. Didn't see him. I was looking from 50 kilometres to go, and it was about 2 laps to go. You suddenly saw his helmet pop out.
I think part of the problem
And
is
then you
you're
saw him
used
just
to
at the
seeing
bottom
him in
of the
those rainbow bands all the time.
Couldn't pick the screen. Couldn't pick the jersey, could we?
Couldn't pick the jersey, Slovakian jersey, or Slovakian?
Slovakian
jerseys.
Slovakia.
You know, it's not the most prominent of jerseys. It's not the Dutch bright orange. It's not the Italian
like the
blue.
Italian Azzurri.
No,
it's
so
not
it's hard
like
to
the
pick.
or the Dutch orange or something like that.
It's not like seeing Dan Martin's bad teeth at the front of the bunch. You know, it's hard to find.
Iridescent.
Iridescent.
But I tell you what, you know, we had a bit of a chat about this between ourselves anyway. But we'll chat with our friends on the show. We have now moved into the Sagan era. Like you and I. We're a little bit young to really have remembered the Merckx era, and then there was I know it was Grand Tour and One Day Classics, but the Hino era and the Sean Kelly, and then you had Armstrong and Museo. I think this guy is now in that calibre, 3 in a row, 100 race wins already, 4 or 5 green jerseys already. We are now well and truly. This is going to be remembered as the Sagan era. You can mention Froome. But he has the problem with Froome. He's going to be very successful. No personality. Steps out of his spaceship, as you always say, and gets on his bike and races. He's never going to have the following that Sagan has got, or Sagan, or however you want to say it. We're in Australia now, but he is literally just an absolute legend.
No one barracks against Sagan.
No one.
Everyone barracks against
The riders
Froome.
like him winning. Like even Christoph said, you were very hard to beat. He wasn't upset. And like, how good is Sagan? Apologises for the first thing he does. He says, "Oh, yeah, he ran second. I'm sorry, he's at home, but it's still good for me." You know.
The interesting thing is, someone said he's bringing sexy back to cycling. I don't think sexy's ever been in cycling. I think he's bringing sexy to cycling.
He's introducing sexy to cycling, but he did get his hair cut. He was sexier with his long hair. He was very Doug Stewart.
Very almost Jesus with that beard.
Very much so. He's unlike Jesus. He's not make believe.
He didn't wear. Well, Jesus existed, but
did he now?
Well, apparently, there's
that conversation.
There's scientific proof that he existed, but whether he was a god or not, that's another story.
Whether he did anything other than exist.
But the other side of it is he doesn't wear sandals.
He might wear sandals in the
Not on the
summertime.
bike. He doesn't.
No, he didn't wear them. We didn't see him in sandals.
He might wear those SPD sandals.
Jangles.
Jandals.
Jandals.
He's not a New Zealander.
Hey, other things happened at the World Championships. The Australian cycling team came away with a silver and 3 bronze medals. And of course, here's one for you. Let's put the cat amongst the pigeons. Well done to all our medal winners. Michael Matthews running 3rd behind Peter Sagan, and Katrine Garfoot 2nd in the Roadie, 3rd in the time trial, and Maddie Fashnet did a fantastic ride in the under 19 road race. Fell off in the last kilometre, unfortunately, but she'd done a beautiful ride up to then. She got 3rd in the time trial. Now, when we talk about Australian Sports Commission's money... Australia. I'm not an expert on how the money's dished out, but we always talk about medals in sport and so forth. Let's just look at it. Men's team, 1 medal. Women's team, 3 medals.
Yeah, but all the money goes to the men because that's the way it happens.
That's the way it happens.
Is it right? Probably not.
Probably not. No, it's not, is it? Let's be honest.
No, but look, you know, I'd just like to say well done to Chloe Hoskin, Rachel Nayland rode perfect races. Who says we needed 7 people?
We do.
We did. I think that might have been us.
Yeah, it might have been
us. We said that.
It was definitely us, and a number of other people said it as well. I tell you what.
The only person who said no, Simon Jones.
Yeah. I read in the press about the pressure that everyone's putting on Michael Matthews to do this and do that. Now, listening to the commentary of the racing at the weekend, Michael Matthews is only 8 months younger than Peter Sagan. Peter Sagan's had 100 wins, and they're talking about it, saying, well, you know, this, that, and the other. Let's have a look at it. Michael Matthews, World Under-23 champion. Michael Matthews, World Time Trial champion now. 2nd in Hamilton.
Teams Time Trial champion.
Teams Time Trial, sorry. 2nd in Hamilton. 3rd the other day. Green jersey winner of the Tour de France. He won a stage of every Grand Tour. This kid is well and truly on his way to being the greatest road cyclist Australia's ever seen, except for, of course, Cadell, who won the Tour de France.
Cuddly Cadell.
Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah, look, I
don't think... kids back and let him race.
Look, if it wasn't for Sagan, he'd won a lot more. However, You know, if you were turning pro and someone said to you, you can have Michael Matthews results, you'd say, thank you very much, take those. You're going to run second to Sagan a lot, thank you very much, I'll take that. Because he's the Roger de Vlamic to the Eddie Merckx.
He is the Roger de Vlamic to the Eddie Merckx. Roger de Vlamic, 4-time Paris-Roubaix winner, won everything there was to win, never won the World Road title, although he was World Cyclocross champion. But if Eddie Merckx hadn't have existed...
He would have won everything.
He'd have won everything you could possibly imagine. You won 10 Milan San Remos, you won 10 Paris-Roubaix.
He was pretty good. He was pretty good.
But Eddie Merckx existed, so that's life. Hey, it rained over the weekend really
Jesus,
hard.
did it rain.
Did
I
it
got wet.
rain?
Hey, funnily enough, Ripley's, believe it or not, I rode in the rain.
He rode in the rain.
I did.
Importantly,
Johnny Clark there doesn't believe it, but I rode in the rain.
It's John Clark, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it did.
More importantly, you still take a selfie when it's raining.
I take a selfie
training.
and I try and look horrendously bad in every selfie I take.
I'm glad that you haven't inherited your sister's trait of taking a selfie in the bathroom mirror before going out at night, because I don't want to see you in the bathroom.
Well, you don't want to see me. I'm only ever nude in the bathroom, Matthew, so you don't want to see me in the bathroom. Well, maybe you do.
Now, it was really wet out at West Coast Masters. I just want to take my hat off to the volunteers. It was an atrocious afternoon at Herne Hill. It was one of those horrible days where it just rained and rained and rained. It was greasy underfoot just walking down the street, let alone the riders to race in. But you've got people on the corner, the other side of 60 years of age, in full wet weather gear, standing out in the rain, volunteering to do the corners for the racing. So very well done to all the volunteers out at West Coast Masters.
And look, it was cancelled on the Monday. By all accounts, it was horrible out at Pickering Brook.
Conditions at Pickering
and you would have had these people who volunteer their time standing on corners in the rain for hours. You had a pretty bad accident on Saturday.
Best wishes to Paul Greeny.
So there's everyone's a bit skittish. I think probably the right decision was made, although there's been a little bit of conjecture about how back in our day we used to ride in the rain.
Back in our day. See, I come from back in our day, right? Here's the difference with back in our day. There's more traffic on the roads nowadays. If you've never run a bike race, shut your bloody mouth on social media. Until you start running bike races, don't make a comment because you don't know what you're talking about. Something that has to happen on really rough conditions is each bunch needs a lead vehicle so the pedestrian traffic knows that the bunch is coming along, and then it needs a vehicle, not a spares vehicle, just a vehicle behind each group for once again so that the pedestrian traffic knows that the bunch is there. On a wet, greasy, nasty day, that sort of safety measure has to be taken. So chapeau to West Coast Masters.
Mate, you look at it, the world has changed. 1988, they were on a stage in the Giro over the Gavia. People almost died. It was that cold. It was in a blizzard. Today, if that was those weather conditions, that stage wouldn't go ahead. It's just what it is. The world has changed. We have to change with it. Now, more importantly, Matthew,
on a lighter note,
I went on Saturday morning because it was a bit wet, a little bit damp, moist, some would say. I went to the track for Graham Brown's Track Cycling WA training session. Fantastic session.
Oh.
Well done, Brownie. You ran a good session. It was exactly what I needed.
Did you pay for your session?
I did.
How much was it?
It's $30, but you got the motorbike out there, it goes for 3 hours, so it's a fair session. Out there was a blessing of unicorns. There was a blessing of unicorns out there. Eddie Pope was out there.
Eddie likes the track.
He does like the track.
Father Eddie Pope.
Father.
He's a dad now.
Yeah, look, there was a baby
Go
out
home and
there.
change nappies,
The newest
Eddie Pope.
unicorn in the world was there.
Oh,
I was supposed to get a photo. He was supposed to email me a photo so I could put it up. He didn't.
thanks, Eddie.
So what I would say is
Ruined the
these
show, Eddie.
boys on the track, they make great road riders. Pig rooting might well be a good description of how they ride the track.
I think that's a challenge. Matt Tognini's just challenged the best unicorn to a race-off at a Graham Brown track session. That's what he's saying. Matt Tognini's saying, I'm a better trackie than you. I'm a former Masters Pursuit Champion of Australia.
No, not
I'm
former.
taking you on, unicorn riders. That's what you're saying, really,
not
isn't
former. I'm still reigning.
it? Oh, still reigning because they didn't run it again.
They haven't run it again since I won
it. But he's taking you on. The challenge is set. A unicorn rider to take on Matt Tognini at a Graham Brown session over a 2,000 metre pursuit. There you go. I'm here to help you out, mate.
Okay, a unicorn of my choice. It's my choice. Who's the oldest, slowest unicorn?
Oh, there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of them.
There is a lot of them. They all wear that bloody Graham Brown kit too.
While we're having fun, the girl that puts a smile on our dial.
Who's that?
Jess Allen, but we're not talking about her. The other one, Hayley Jones. No, we're not talking about her either. What's the other one?
I don't know.
Oh, Rebecca Mackey.
She won.
She won at the weekend. She
She's-
won Ferguson Valley. But she's not back on the bike.
She's not allowed to let anyone know
Don't
she's
tell
on the
anyone
bike.
she's
Don't tell
racing. But
anyone.
she won.
She won, and well done. It was a good win.
About time you won something again.
Yeah, again, back teaching them what actually they have to do.
Yes, the girls got to live in reality, in their own reality for a week while Beck ran third, and now she's won again. So
Yeah, on a week's
never mind.
training comes out
Holiday's over.
to Darden up, one of the hardest courses around, and smokes them. Well done, Beck.
Well done. Well done. We'd love to tell you about what's happening this weekend in the racing, but we haven't looked. So go on to the West Coast Masters Facebook page, Peel District's Facebook page, and
all there.
see what's on.
And thanks, Vanessa Johnson, for your great email
Yes, Vanessa.
about the South Perth Royal Earth chicks. You won a pair of socks. You should have got them by now. Matt one at iinet.net.au. We will be back next week.
Now, don't forget,
We'll talk about
I've
something.
got something else to say.
What is that?
The Graham Brown Super Crit.
We've already mentioned it.
I'm mentioning it again. November 18th, we've got a couple of announcements to make next week, a couple of internationals that will be coming, and on the 17th of November, Track Cycling WA in conjunction with Pointer Racing Systems and Graham Brown, we have the Westerall Wheel Race on the Friday night, previous night, and we will also have on that night Michelle Ferris versus Louise Jones, with possibly somebody else as well. Stuart O'Grady will be there, Graham Brown will be there. It's going to be a great night of racing, the night before the Super Crit.
Michelle Ferris versus Andre the Giant?
No, Michelle Ferris versus Louise Jones from Wales. So you've got the Commonwealth Games champion versus the Olympic medalist and world champion. It's going to be a beauty.
No, I'm not going.
You are going because you're commentating it with me. I haven't told you that yet.
Okay.
Hey, see you next week.
Bye.